So let's start the backfall with reverse breathing. This is something that's important for a lot of things that we do. And I don't think a lot of people think about it when thinking about ukemi. So, but it's important. So reverse breathing means that you're pulling the abdomen in while you breathe in. Actually, not just the abdomen, but everything pulls in while you breathe in, basically. And everything goes out when you breathe out. So your belly goes out on the out breath and in on the in breath. For this, we still are going to start the breath at the bottom and fill up from the bottom to the top. And what you want to do is, as you breathe in, you're going to push that breath against your spine. And you want to try to start out at the very bottom of the spine and push it against each vertebra. As your breath fills up, you go up one vertebra at a time until you reach the back of your neck here. And I suggest, and especially since we're doing it for back falls right now, that you start out lying down, knees bent, and breathe in as low as you can. And as you breathe in, you should feel your spine, you're at the bottom, push against the ground. So we're going to push our spine against the ground using the breath and pushing the front part of your body into the spine at the same time. So I'm filling up and compressing the breath against the spine, one vertebra at a time, all the way up the body. So you should feel the bottom of the spine press against the ground and then progressively up the spine till you get to here. So go ahead and lie down, knees bent, and in breath. Gluteus is pushed against the ground, and then out breath. And everything arches back up again, away from the ground. In. Out. So you can do that quite a bit. I'm going to pause here because it's raining and finish up inside. So we're practicing compressing the breath and moving it up and down the spine. So compressing the breath, breathing in, and so that's the in-breath. You can easily feel pushing your spine against the ground. The out-breath, some people find a little more difficult, I think. On the out-breath, you want to feel like everything is pushing in. So it's as if you're squeezing against the breath, where the breath is pushing against the outer surface of your body. And you can also use that to push your spine against the ground. So there's a whole sheath of your body is compressing the breath on the out breath. So you're trying to expand inside that sheath, which also creates a compression feeling. This way. So in, out. Now, when you do the out breath, you can, the normal reverse breathing is you just come out this way. Belly goes out on the out breath, in on the in breath. Okay. So now I'd like you to try to do is different parts of your body go out on the out breath. So, but everything is still like compressed with the sheath of your body. So you can see it pushes out here and then pulls back in. Here and I can also push out to a different spot. Or here. Out breath. in breath, out breath, in breath. Now what I'd like to do is try to move your belly with that breath against the ground. So I'm going in breath and then out breath against the ground on this side of my body. So basically I'm taking my belly and slamming it into the ground with the out breath. This way. I'm slamming it into the ground here. Now I try to slam it into the ground a little higher up on my back. In breath. Out breath, slamming it into the ground here. In breath. Out breath, slamming it into the ground under my shoulder blade. Slamming it into the ground at my upper shoulder blade. Slamming it into the ground on the opposite hip. So I'm just taking my belly and slamming it into the ground in different places in a particular progression now. So we're going to go from one hip to the middle of the lower back, across to the shoulder blade on the opposite side, and up the shoulder blade on the opposite side. I'll go from here to here to here to here to here on the back. So. Now from this side. Other side. Other side. Okay. So you can do that for as long as it takes to get the feeling of that. And then try to do it smoothly so that one breath travels up the body from one side, one hip to the opposite shoulder blade. We'll go from this side. This side, this side, so I'm practicing one side of an X and then the other side of the X, one side and then the other side, just kind of pressing your belly into the ground at different spots along your body. So once you have that, we'll go to the actual back roll. So you're sitting down. Let me get in the camera here. And I go sitting on the foot. I'm going to slam my belly into this hip against the ground. Or sitting on this side, I'm going to take my belly and move it against the ground through this hip. So after you have the feeling of that, then you try to go again in that X from this hip to the opposite shoulder. And again, I'm trying to take my belly through the ground to the ground through that shoulder blade, through the hip and up the body till you reach the shoulder blade. So sit on the foot. This leg out at right angles, this leg straight in front of you. Take the hip that's out at right angles and slam it into the ground and then towards the opposite shoulder blade. You don't have to breathe this loudly. I'm just trying to let you know where the breath is. And that's the basis of this back roll. The form of it is also important, however. Form of it is I go down to this leg, all the way down till I'm sitting on the foot, slide the hip to the floor, rather the butt cheek, and then roll back to the opposite shoulder blade. My head goes to the shoulder blade that's going to touch the ground, and so do both hands. So my hands will take up the position that touches the ground so that my head can't do this. Right, I don't want to hit the head. You want to hit the hands. So when you put your hands down, your head naturally gets out of the way. You do need to keep your chin tucked. The most important thing about the falls is to keep your head off the ground. Don't touch the ground with your head. Everything after that is getting up. The way you do that is you take the foot that's in front and you reach it behind you so that the leg is nearly straight. This way. There we go. So this leg that's up is nearly straight when the ball of the foot touches the ground. Then the knee goes down and the other leg comes between your arms. And step forward. So the whole thing is sit on the leg that's out at right angles, butt to the ground, up the back to the opposite side. Both hands go over that shoulder. Reach with your leg straight. Touch the knee. Push up. Step through. And stand up. Stand up. Again, critical thing is the chin stays tucked and your head never touches the ground. In, down. I'm going to go across to the opposite shoulder. And I want this opposite shoulder to actually go across my body. So I'm laying my body touches the ground from this hip to the opposite shoulder, so that's going across my body. But I want that line to go towards this lower knee. So I don't go this way back, I go that way. In other words, if I fall on a line here, I'm going to end up on that side of the line, because this is the lower knee. So this shoulder is going to end up on that side of the line. And through. And that's the back roll. It's not that difficult to get that form. It is difficult to get your belly to slam against the ground all the way through that roll. So I move my belly into the hip, up to the shoulder, and then actually up the body again. But you don't have to worry about that part yet. And that's the backfall.